worked out? We ready to roll? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, all good, man. Another good week of practice. Guys are out here working extremely hard. I think practice has been, really crisp. Guys are practicing the right way, and yet, we're being smart about how we're working. So, I think that's been really good so far.
You get Jarvis in for some work. How's Jarvis looked so far?
He looks like what I would expect Jarvis to look like. I think he probably, he's really good transition in and out of the route. The top of the route's really pretty good with him. He understands how to get open, and then he also understands how to make plays with the ball in his hand once he's got it. And so I think he was a really good addition for us, and anxious to kind of get going with him.
I know you were here in 06. I remember Drew couldn't throw and he was doing mental reps. I know Jameis is coming off an injury. Do you have to kind of balance he wants to be the leader and he wants to show he's out here, but also, I hate to use the term save him from himself, but make sure he doesn't push himself too hard?
Yeah, look, I think that's all part of the process. And look, Jameis has been really good throughout the rehab process. I think he's done a good job of kind of understanding where he's at, what he can and can't do. And certainly that's part of our responsibility also as an organization to make sure that we're kind of overseeing it and make sure that we're doing all the things that we need to do. So yes, there is a delicate balance between pushing yourself to get yourself ready and yet being smart and not overdoing it.
Dennis, I assume y'all aren't planning major changes, but with the talent y'all have coming back and have added at wide receiver, might the identity of the offense look a little different than what we've been used to?
Well, look, I think that's all still to be determined. The best coaching jobs are the ones where you identify what you do really well. You put your guys in those positions to do those things. And then the things you don't do as well, you try to limit the times you're asking guys to do that. So I think the identity of the offense will come to life as we get into training camp, get into some preseason games, and really identify the things that we do really well.
Dennis, Carlson got Debo last year, got thrown the fire a little bit and did well. What areas you see him better now than he was this time last year?
I think just the understanding of what we're doing defensively. So I think he's playing a step faster right now because he really understands what we're doing. And I think also just from a fundamental and technique standpoint, he's way in front of where he was at this point last year. So I like where he's at. I like what he's done. And certainly it's not time to start patting ourselves on the back yet. We're out here working and trying to get better.
Dennis, can you talk a little bit about Adam Troutman? His rookie year last year, now it's going to be year number 3 for him. I'm sure you're looking big things for him this year.
Well, look, I'm looking for him to be a consistent player on a down in and down out basis. Nobody's asking him to be Superman. And look, development with players takes time. There was an injury process that he went through, which kind of delayed the development a little bit. I wouldn't say that it's uncommon for it to take a couple of years and get into year 3 before you really find out exactly what you have in a player. And I think that's probably where Trout's at. I think he is a well-rounded football player. And so he has the ability to be an inline blocker for us and also a pass receiver. So yeah, look, much like a lot of guys, this is a great opportunity in this off season to get out here and get yourself better, and kind of get yourself ready for training camp.
What do you like about Andy Dalton?
I think just a veteran presence is probably the biggest thing. Nothing's too big for him. He's been there, done that. He's performed at a high level in our league. And so I think adding that experience into that room, I think, has been good.
Obviously, you were part of building this culture here, but did you set goals for yourself for like your first OTA or your first mini camp? And I guess how is it 2 weeks into it now?
Well, look, I don't know that there was just this specific goal that we want to get this done in a certain amount of time. I think things happen because of a process, you know, and really I think what I want to do is continue to develop the culture that we have and put my own identity on it, and that's what we're trying to do, and that really comes with preaching the same message every single day, and coming to work every single day to try to improve yourself, and that's us as coaches and players.
Dennis, what about running back Zigbo? It seemed like he really catches the ball well in the backfield.
Yeah, look, he's a guy that's we've got some experience with the player, so that was one of the things that was intriguing about it, is that we do have experience with him, and he's got experience in our system, and so we thought that was a nice fit, and I think he's done a pretty good job over the first couple of weeks.
For all the young running backs, is this an opportunity with Alvin and Mark not here for them to get added opportunities to catch
I think
a
for
ride?
anybody that's out here, it's an opportunity. You know what I mean? Like, this is an opportunity for guys to improve at their craft. And the guys that are out here, I think, are working extremely hard to do that.
Along those lines of you settling into the job, I mean, I'm looking at the Compete Street sign. I mean, was there any tendency for you to, like, let's change the signs? I mean, like,
well,
we
look,
want things to feel
one of the
different.
things that we preach is competition, in everything that we do. And so why would I change things just to change them? We've done a lot of good stuff around here, so you're going to see a lot of the same stuff, and the way I present the message may be just a little bit different than maybe the way that Sean presented it, and that's what I mean by kind of putting my own flair on it.
Speaking of that, I saw you watching the wide receiver drills. Is it hard or easy for you, as somebody who spent his career on the defensive side of the ball, to kind of say, got to get away from that, I do need to focus on the offense?
Well, I think it's a lot easier when you feel like you've got highly qualified coaches on the defensive side of the ball that can handle things when you're not watching, and we've got great coaches on the defensive side of the ball. I give them a lot of freedom to do a lot of different stuff, and that allows me to kind of oversee the whole team. All good? Thanks, guys.
Jarvis, kind of thumbnail us on how these first few days have gone for you.
It's been hot. It's been hot. I miss this weather, but it's been very productive. We've got a lot of great work in on all three phases. So.
Dennis said one of the things he's noticed is that they're getting exactly what they expect out of you. A guy who can get open, catch the ball, and a guy who can do something with it once he gets it in his hand. Do you feel like those are the strong elements you add to this?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just getting my feet back under me, trying to get understanding of the playbook so I can play a little bit faster. But those things will come with just reps. We got a couple weeks here before we close out, and then that continues on into training camp and the season. So I'll be ready.
Overall, do you just like the fresh start that you're getting, and do you hope to be healthy and get through through a season here?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. It's been a breath of fresh air. To be back home, to be around the culture that's already been set here in New Orleans, the leadership that's here already, and obviously, we all need to stay healthy. Stay healthy so we can, have a chance to do what we set out to do.
What are your early impressions of working with Cody Burns?
He's very detailed. He's very detailed. He knows a lot. He understands the game. He's given us coaching points, things to recognize that even in year 9 that I haven't really, I won't say paid attention to, but he's broken down in ways that has allowed me to see the field a little bit better. It's only been an early 3 days so far, but he's been helping me even when I've been in Florida, spending my time in Florida. He's still been kind of helping me virtually as well. So he's all is well so far.
So yeah, what does that say about a guy who you've been in the league for almost a decade now, and he's still teaching you to see things differently?
Yeah, I mean, it's a part of it. Probably part of the reason why he got a job. He's very smart, very detailed. So I'm happy to be in his presence and have the opportunity to learn from him as well.
Jarvis, is that a fair assessment? It seems like throughout your career, especially the number of receptions and the yards after the catch, would you view yourself as maybe one of the top receivers, not the top receiver, as far as yards after the catch?
Yeah, I don't wrap my mind around that stuff no more. fall in that trap, you know, it's never ending. But you know, for me, I think, you know, I'm gonna be who I am. I'm gonna run great routes. I'm gonna catch the football and make things happen with it. Block for my teammates, you know, and that's just who I am. And when I hang it up at some point, and we can go back and, you know, check records and check stats and things like that.
What have your conversations been with Jameis so far? You've been able to get on the field together, and how you two can mesh, and you know, him looking for you and what you like and what he likes?
Yeah, he's a leader, man. He's a guy, again, like I told you guys earlier before when I first got here, he's one of the reasons why I came here. Just the conversations that we had, you know, the intent that, you know, he's putting behind the things that he's saying, you know, and obviously out here on the field, you know, what you see is what you get, you know. I mean, look, I don't see nobody else out here, and this guy's the last one, you know, and that's who he is, you know, and that's something that you want at that position and a part of your team. So,
how important is it? These are voluntary. Did you feel like you had to be at least a part of it with the new coach and the new system and the new program at some point?
Yeah, absolutely. DA is amazing. You know, obviously this is a weird offseason for me. Obviously, first time head coach. Well, second time head coach, but you know, first time here. But I had a lot of moving parts going on, and he was very understanding about, you know, me not being here early on, and you know, and getting here now. It's, you know, I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be on the grass, be running routes. You know, have an opportunity to learn and be a part of the culture and the team, and you know, find my place here.
Jarvis, I noticed you kind of bring a little fire to practice, and you know, maybe talk a little bit. Is that just kind of the way that you like to play, to kind of bring an edge and just be like that every day in practice?
Yeah, I'm always gonna be me. I'm very competitive. You know, I'm not really a trash talker, but you know, if it gets fiery, if it gets there, and that's what it is. But I'm not, you know, I'm just here competing.
Jarvis, how is your conversations going with like Michael Thomas? Do y'all like once a week,
Yeah.
or how does that?
No, that's my brother. That's my brother. I'm excited to see him. You know, we've always been talking. We've had a long-standing relationship since, you know, he was in high school, we were in college. You know, so he's a guy that as time went on, and obviously the things that he did here in New Orleans, you know, you look up to a guy like that. You know, so he has a lot of potential, even more potential going forward, and I can't wait to see him out here and line it up with him. It should be fun.
How do you, I don't know how many people you've played with that are kind of his style, like how do you think you two will feed off each other and help each other, you know, kind of?
Yeah, I think we're gonna be us. I think we're gonna be us, and you know, it's gonna be up to Pete and RC to figure out a way to, you know, to get us the ball. And but I think, you know, we all, again, still post something a little bit different, you know, and I think the biggest thing is we all can make plays, you know, and that's what's the most important thing as an offense.
Jarvis, your thoughts on Chris Olave so far?
He's been outstanding. He's in great shape. He's running great routes. He's on top of the playbook. You know, he's going to be a contributor, a big-time contributor for sure, as it looks right now.
What did you see when that one-handed catch you made out there? It looked like on a 7-on-7. What did you kind of see on that play?
No, yeah, just running my route. I got pulled a little bit, so it kind of took my other arm away. So I had to just catch it any way I could, and stuck one out there and grabbed it.
How'd you get to know Mike when he was in high school?
So when we were in college, he was, you know, he was always, obviously he was going to camps and stuff like that, but I think, Facebook maybe at the time, or Twitter maybe was coming up. I don't know. Instagram was around yet, but damn, I just aged myself a little bit. And he was always kind of interested, like curious. You know, he was curious about, you know, learning the things from myself, learning things from Odell, and that kind of carried on when he got to Ohio State. That carried on as we got early on in the league. I'm in Miami. Odell was in New York at the time. And then when he got here, I mean, it's really been, for him, it's only been up, you know. So I'm excited to see him healthy and get back on the field, because, you know, this team could definitely use him.
When you said you don't pay attention to records anymore, were you paying attention when you were younger, and all of a sudden he was breaking, like your name was in a lot of Michael Thomas stories?
It was, but you know, and no better person than one of my brothers, so it's still a blessing, it's still an honor.
Jarvis, LSU, Brian Kelly, what's your thoughts on you? Got track of what's going on up there?
Yeah, I've been watching closely, and now that I'm back home, I have an opportunity to go up there and, you know, really meet coach and, you know, be around the new staff and, you know, see what's got going on. I mean, I don't expect nothing less down there. You know, it's high competition. You know, playmakers going to recruit well. Frank Wilson is back now, so, you know, he's a guy that really got all of us together, you know, so I'm excited to see what comes of it. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Jarvis. Appreciate it.